Sonic Frontiers is one of my favorite Sonic games of all time. In fact, it's in my top 5 list. The combat is what elevated it to be there. While it's not perfect, it is the best combat I've experienced in a Sonic game, and would love to see it expanded upon in future games. I still have a blast going through the game and fighting all the different enemy types the game has to offer. Not really. Some of them are kinda ass. While Sonic Frontiers has some really fun combat and enemies to beat on, they're not all champions. In fact, some of them make me want to delete the game right off my computer. I'm sure there's strategies on how to defeat each and every enemy in the game flawlessly, but I ain't got time for that. How am I supposed to make a video bitching about certain enemies in the game if I master the combat? While it would be cool, I think there's something a tad bit more entertaining about some 29-year-old man on the internet complaining about something he's not even forced to do. Not only that, but I think videos like this are good to get a constructive discussion going. So without further ado, here's my list of the top 5 worst enemies in Sonic Frontiers. As a disclaimer, enemies in this video are defined as anything you have to fight. From Titans to Guardians to the smaller enemies, everything's in play here. So, let's get into it. Number 5, Ashura. So you're probably wondering, hey Joey, why is the first Guardian in the game on this list? You must really suck at video games to have the first Guardian you encounter on this list. You're partially right. However, Ashura makes his way to this list because of how janky the fight can be. The way Ashura works is that he slams one of his hands on the ground, which sends out these blue and red energy waves. The blue energy waves boost Sonic forward and is how you climb up Ashura's arm to attack his weak spot. The red ones push you back. This is on my list because these fights can either go decently alright, to put it nicely, or they can fuck you up the ass. Half the time this boss fight works. The other half, Sonic is getting sent halfway across the map for what appears to be no logical reason whatsoever. It's like the game creates its own rules for this boss each time you play it. It's either going to be pretty easy and straightforward, or Ashura is going to finger your asshole with all 3 of his hands at once. It's not a hard fight by any means, but when you're trying to do a speedrun or get through the Battle Rush trials, and the game decides that it's going to favor Ashura and make things really jank for you, that's when things become a tad bit annoying. Also, not sure how many folks know this, but Ashura can one-shot you if he crushes you with his lanky-ass arm. I forgot to grab footage of it, but I'm sure anyone that's played the game has probably had it happen to them at least once. Probably not. You're all better than me at this game, I'm just here to bitch today. Anyway, moving on to more exciting things. Number 4, Shark. Shark is a guardian enemy found on Ares Island. It travels beneath the sand and emerges when Sonic gets into close proximity with it. In order to fight it, you have to do a QuickTime event. Now, I love QuickTime events in video games, when they're done right. I feel like they can add a whole new layer to any video game experience. They can be immersive, challenging, and a lot of fun at times. However, this isn't one of them. The actual QuickTime event is pretty easy. It's the actual length of it that's the problem. In this fight, you gotta move the analog stick in the direction that the game tells you. Succeeding with this part will grant you the opportunity to wail on this guy with all of Sonic's moves. Sounds simple, right? No, it's tedious and boring. You better have your Adderall ready because the QuickTime event lasts for an eternity. Most of the time you're just waiting around for the button prompt to show up. The worst part about all of it is if you mess up or fail to bring the shark's HP to 0 in the allotted time, you have to do the QTE section all over again. Look at this magic I managed to record for this video. I was messing around a little bit, but I didn't intend for this to happen. Then to make matters worse, I got so annoyed I missed one of the button prompts and had to start the shit all over again. Who thought this was a good idea? It feels like watching reruns of old SpongeBob episodes. It's not interesting to watch, except for the first and maybe second time. After that, you just want to lay this dickhole to rest in the sand that he emerged from. Fuck this dusty ass dry mouth wannabe Legend of Zelda saint. Number 3, Ghost. Did you know it took the time of this recording for me to finally beat this fake ass HP Lovecraft cunt? Up until now, I'd never beaten this guy. I know I suck at video games, but I swear fucking up in this fight will cost you everything. There's like no room for error. It's not even that the Guardian's hard, it's just frustrating when things outside of your control in the moment mess you up. For example, my momentum constantly caused me to fall off these platforms and miss my target. Now sure, you can go into the menu and literally adjust Sonic's momentum, but like, no, I'm not doing that. I like the way my Sonic handles with these settings. I swear this is the only boss fight that causes Sonic to randomly fly all over the place. You have to be a fucking masochist to enjoy this, or straight up fucked in the head. I mean, I think I'm pretty fucked in the head. But not that bad to get a kick out of this fight. It reminds me of getting poisoned in an RPG where your health is constantly being drained. Like, that already makes my anxiety spike, but then you have to do precision platforming, all while this fucker is trying to snatch your soul up with attacks that not only make you lose rings, but knock you off the platforms, forcing you to start the shit all over from the beginning. It's actual madness. My blood doesn't even boil at this, it just makes my body shake. Like, after playing this, I feel like I need to take some Tylenol and lie down for a bit. I'm not gonna lie though, it did kinda get exciting after I started to get the hang of it. But like, playing it for the first time and even many times after that, there's so much shit going on. You're on a timer, bitches attacking you, you gotta do precision platforming. I hate it. Kinda sorta. Number 2, Caterpillar. This is another bane of my existence. This is another enemy that took the recording of this video for me to beat for the very first time. If you have depth perception problems in video games like me, you're gonna be really fucked here. This boss fight requires you to navigate between 2 tiny ass rails to hit these blue balls in order to end this sadistic madness. What makes it so difficult, at least for a wimpy ass casual like me, is I can't tell where shit is. I can't tell where Sonic is, I can't tell which rail the obstacles I'm supposed to be avoiding are, where the balls I'm supposed to hit are. It's like the Tower Guardian fight except sized down to a gnat's dick. Like, they really took that rail concept and said, let's shrink it down so you can't see what the fuck is going on. And that's where the real challenge comes from. I already can't see. I wear glasses with lenses thick as windshield glass on a semi-truck. You think I'm gonna be able to make out where and what is on that tiny fucking rail? My favorite part is that if you fuck up and get hit, there's no way to recover your rings, which is complete bullshit. If you need more rings, you're gonna have to either die and start all over, or tough it out to the next phase, which we haven't even talked about yet. Actually, the next phase isn't too bad. Yeah, in comparison to the trials and tribulation we just had to endure, I don't know how to fucking say it. I mean, it's actually pretty easy to mess up the second phase and screw yourself over, but at least you can side loop around for rings. I'm okay with fumbling around some rings here and there, but when Sonic is forced into this mandatory merry-go-round, it makes me want to go to the fair and punch a carny in the mouth. Carny in the mouth. Anyways, let's move on before I go into a cardiac arrest over a game about a talking blue hedgehog aimed at 10-year-olds. And last but not least, number 1, the fucking Jellyfish. I never had an issue with this enemy until recently. This is another enemy where I feel like the game picks and chooses when it's going to be difficult. So, the way this enemy works is that the robot jellyfish thing shoots out these green and red drones that you gotta lock onto and use Sonic's homing attack to reach the top. They're scattered in rows. The green ones are the ones you want to aim for, as they'll elevate Sonic up to the next row of drones, but hitting the red ones damage you and cause you to lose all your progress. When I first played Sonic Frontiers, this enemy was just a minor nuisance. Then I played the Battle Rush mode, and that's when I was ready to chop off Tails' tails. You see, the jellyfish usually creates rows that are fairly spaced apart so that it's pretty easy to navigate which drones you want to lock onto. Except when I decided to do it in Battle Rush mode. The spacing between the green and red drones made this nearly impossible to do, and opened up my eyes to how shitty the lock-on system can actually be in this game. I mean, you're watching the footage, I'm not doing this shit on purpose. I literally cannot lock onto the fucking green drone. The second I think I'm in the clear, the cursor switches from the green drone to the red drone, and I end up honing in on it. I can't tell you how fucking frustrating this was. Since this incident, my game will pick and choose when it wants to torture me. A trick I've been using is adjusting the camera so that it doesn't point at any of the red drones, and therefore the game can't lock onto them because they're out of the camera's view. It's been working out thus far, but also the jellyfish has been playing fair and spacing the drones out a lot better to make attacking the ones you want to hit actually possible. I'm not sure what causes the rows to be so condensed or evenly spaced apart, but if you know, let me know down in the comments what the cause of this is. But yeah, those are my top 5 least favorite enemies in Sonic Frontiers. I know the developers were trying to add variety, but this is... I don't really know what this is. From janky programming to just outright bad ideas, I hope that this has changed for the next Sonic Frontiers styled game. Again, I love the combat in this game and there's so much here to praise, but I figured I'd attempt to be funny today and get out some much needed frustration in the form of a video. I mean, it's better than drugs, right? Anyway, let me know down in the comments below what some of your favorite and least favorite enemies are in Sonic Frontiers. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, as it's always fun hearing from all of you. If you guys like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos similar to this in the future. Also, like and share the video so we can get some traction back here on the channel. I miss making videos here and chatting with all of you. Like seriously, I do miss it. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.